I'm Ryan. This is Demos in the Dark. Tonight, I am going to answer the most asked question of me. And that question is, are your eyes really that dreamy in real life? No, that's not the question. In fact, I don't think I've ever been asked that question once, ever. So the question that I get asked more than any other is, what is on my personal pedalboard? Now, I've kind of dodged that question numerous times and in different ways. Here's why. I demo about a pedal a week. I did 87 in 2019. I also work as a pedal distributor. So I have a lot of effects pedals behind me. And you would think that with that many pedals at my disposal that I would have just a wacky what's-his-face from War on Drugs pedalboard. But I don't. It's pretty simple. It's also pretty messy. But, I gig with it. It works for me. And it's worked for me for a long time. In fact, my pedalboard rarely changes. I do use these for session work. I do a lot of session work, and I love using these for that. But my board, it's not going to blow your mind. But let's do it anyways. I hopping on a plane to Nam tomorrow. Pretty much freed up the evening. So here we go. My pedalboard. Okay, so here we are. My pedalboard. This is a Blackbird pedalboard. I really enjoy Blackbird pedalboards. I have the size up from this, as well as the size down from this. The size up is ridiculously huge. I used it in a time where I thought maybe I did want to be the guy from War on Drugs. That lasted a gig. I just couldn't. I'm not built for it. So this size is just absolutely perfect for me. The tweed is cool. This is a weird detail, but the Velcro on here is just insane. It is so strong. I need a tool usually to pry stuff off. So if you are someone who travels a lot, and I do, this is great because they come in a flight case and your pedals are not going to move. So that's great. A couple other finer details. I use disaster area Evo cable to connect everything. I have 2 Voodoo Labs power supplies mounted under the board. I've had them for like 15 years. They just won't die. I don't really have an opinion on power supplies. I get asked that a couple of times, and I just don't like. I just use these because they will not die. So, like I said, pretty basic layout here. There are a couple things that change. And one of those things is this. I keep my overdrive in the center of my board. And I'm either using this Benson amps preamp, or I am using a Greer amps Lightspeed, or I am using a Spaceman Polaris. The reason this is on right now is because I am using a Nash S63 Strat. And Strat just, this particular one, the Lawler pickups on here, it just needs a little bit more juice than the Lightspeed can give it. So this is always on. So that is always on. And I like to hit stuff with it from the front end. So the Saturn VI is a great boost. You're gonna go into a solo. So Saturn VI, heck of a boost. It will give you some extra push on the Benson. It will give you some extra dirt in there too. I just think it sounds really great. Hawaiian Pizza. This is the other one that changes. The fuzz pedals tend to change in and out a lot. There's a Hawaiian Pizza on there right now because I think it's just a great fuzz pedal. Usually can get most of whatever I need out of it. So it's a good all-around thing to go with. And I will run that into the Benson. But then I also use it on its own. Then I have the Farm Pedals Fly Agaric, which is actually a 4-stage phaser. And I use it at the front of my chain because I use it as kind of a univibe type sound. And I like to have that before. So, Farm Pedals, Fly Agaric Phaser. That's great. 1981 Inventions DRV for something heavier than this can kind of do. And great pedal. I like it a lot. So I use the broadcast in a little bit of a different way. I use the broadcast to kind of jump out when I need a serious volume boost. So I keep it after the Benson preamp. So So that's really great for that, especially if you're running into a really nice amp. And so you're using both of these to work alongside the amp and push the amp, and they're interacting together. This is really great for that. I enjoy this pedal a lot. It doesn't really ever leave this board. So next, we have the Mesh Audio Juice Jawn. And this is one that you may not have heard of yet, but I did a demo of it. And it's a dude I found in Philadelphia. He makes really authentic Mutron 3s. And I'm not going to lie to you folks, I play in, one of the bands I play in is kind of a jam band. So we hit that envelope filter a little bit. One of the best trems I think out there is the Drifter Analog Tremolo from Greenhouse. All right, so we are at this stage right here. I used to actually have another H9 that I had mounted under my board, but that was just too extreme. There was absolutely no need for it. So I control these two guys, the Alexander Quadrant, which is the delay, and the Eventide H9 with this here. It is a disaster area DMC4. And, I keep it pretty simple. I only have a few different presets that I use, and I know where they are and what they sound like. The general, which is one that you've been listening to, I pretty much use that all the time. It's in live settings, it's on just all the time. Just a little something, a little padding between notes. And then, sometimes if I need to do something crazy, then I'll activate a setting here. So that's kind of just my general home base. P1 is my home base. Usually if I need something a little bit more and then I set this up to change with it so I can activate it and turn it off. And then, pretty simple slapback. And then I keep that spring reverb on there in case I happen to be playing an amp without reverb. So that's it, man. That's the board. Couple of presets. Drive pedal, some boosting, a little bit of fuzz. Again, these are the guys that change the most. But this stuff doesn't really change. And you know what? I've been using it for years like this, and it works for me. And I know it like the back of my hand, so I don't have to think when I'm on stage. I can concentrate just on playing guitar, which, it's hard enough. So there we are. We've done it. This is my pedal board. Thanks for watching.